How's it going, YouTube? So yeah, I plan on posting more PC game footage, as I've gotten a lot more PC games lately and my computer's working a lot better. And, with my Fraps program, I might as well get into this. I've been to posting more PC game footage. For a long time, wasn't playing games on my PC. I kind of forgot about it for a while, but then I got back to it and I was like, yes, that's right, PC, that's the way to go. I find I've grown up a PC gamer pretty much since, I've grown up playing real-time strategy games or RTS games like Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, not World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. That's a strategy game, and I consider it the best strategy game ever. Hopefully my friend will let me borrow it and see if his CD will install on my computer, because my CD won't. I don't know why, but maybe his will. Well, as you can see, or if you're not too familiar with the PC field, but more than likely, as you can see, I'm playing Command & Conquer Generals. This game came out in 2003. I'm not playing the expansion set, 0 Hour, but I do have it with the collection of Command & Conquer games that Mark let me borrow in Command & Conquer the first decade. But yeah, I'm playing Generals. Great game. One of the best in the series. My friend thinks it's the best in the Command & Conquer series, and I wouldn't blame him. I'd definitely say it's one of the best. I'll say Generals 0 Hour is the second best of the series. I think the best is Red Alert 3, and then Generals, and then Command & Conquer 3. But, which I haven't played Command & Conquer 3 in a long time. I have that game, but I'm going to install it again on a newer, better computer and play it there. Anyways, I'm playing against the computer on Brutal. It's funny, on Generals the difficulties are different than on 0 Hour, the expansion set. On Generals, there's normal, hard, and brutal. On 0 Hour, the expansion set, there's easy, normal, and hard. So easy is the replacement of normal, normal is the replacement of hard, and hard is the replacement of brutal, pretty much. So not much action going on. I actually felt like I was not playing a very good game at all this time, but turned out not really. I mean, I made a few blunders at the beginning, like I was slow to capturing some buildings that were pretty important that I should have captured. Unfortunately, there was a building I captured at the bottom that I didn't even know existed in this game, and I actually don't think it's existed in previous Command & Conquer games or future ones at all. And that building allowed me to construct vehicles at reduced cost. That's pretty nice, I'd have to say. I'm going against the GLA. I chose the computer to be random, but it turned out to be the GLA. Now, I'd say out of all the Command & Conquer games, this is definitely one of the most balanced ones, although I'm not going to say it's one of the most balanced RTS games. It's hard to balance a video game in general. I mean, obviously the most balanced RTS game ever is StarCraft Brood War, because it's actually completely fair, although I'd say the Protoss are the strongest race in that game. It is pretty much a completely fair game. Everything has a counter. But Generals, yeah, this is a fairly balanced game. The only problem I'd say is that China, I believe, has a pretty heavy advantage over their opposition. They can get a lot of infantry because each time they train Red Guard, 2 come out, and not only that, but I mean, that's not even significant, but what I think makes them the best in this game is the fact that they have all the powerful vehicles. All their vehicles are really strong compared to the other factions. USA, the Americans, they're pretty cool in this game. I'd say they're probably the hardest to master, because it's kind of hard to figure out like what's a good strategy with them and stuff. Because they don't have the most powerful or the weak. They don't have the most powerful ground force, and they don't outnumber by as much as the GLA would, which is who I'm facing right now, the GLA. So it's kind of like using the Terran in StarCraft. They're a little bit harder to master. But USA is pretty cool. They definitely have the best air force of them all. China only has MiGs in this game, in 0 hour they gain another air unit, which is like some kind of bomber thing. I don't remember what it was, but I'd have to play that game again, which I plan to sometime in the near future. I'll try to get through more generals and get through for some practice on this. And then obviously the GLA, they're good for swarming and outnumbering people, and also their units are quite good at taking out infantry units, which, you know, is beneficial in a way, not necessarily though. The GLA also have great maneuverability, and they're scavengers, like, you know, terrorists from the Middle East would be. Their vehicles can pick up scrap from the ground. Like, if they destroy your tanks, the GLA's tanks of their own can actually run over that debris and run over the destroyed tank and actually pick up scraps from it and actually gain weapons or gain armor. It's pretty cool. And then some things they can actually gain money from scrapping as well. So that's their way. That's one of their ways of gaining money, other than collecting supply crates. China, on the other hand, they collect supply crates with their trucks, or they can train a bunch of hackers and have them hack the internet and steal money that way. So that's once I get the opportunity to get hackers, I try to train as many of them as possible so I can keep hacking money, keep getting money over and over and over, getting money faster and faster. It took me a while to capture the oil derricks on the top right of the map. I should have captured them sooner. But I seem to have the advantage. I'm doing a lot better than my opponent is. Of course, I am China. It's GLA, so I do say China's the best in this game. But, I mean, there are advantages to being the other factions, too. Like the GLA outnumber, and the USA have that supreme air force. But if you have a lot of anti-air, that might not help too well. But one thing I do find cool about the USA is that actually they have the best transportation out of everybody. Their Chinooks that gather the supply crates can actually transport not only your infantry but your vehicles as well, which is pretty cool. And you can have them raid buildings by having them go on top of a building and land on the building, a garrison building, like, because your infantry can garrison a building. You can have infantry go inside the building and go inside civilian buildings and have them shoot out of it. Regardless of the faction you're using, your infantry are capable of doing that. And so if you're at a big city level, you can just garrison a bunch of buildings to try to make sure your enemy doesn't have an advantage. Try to make sure you can take down your enemy forces if they try to go through the city. That can be countered. You can counter it with air units unless they have a lot of anti-air in those buildings. Or you can counter it by outranging it with siege weaponry. Or just overwhelming them for a ridiculous amount of heavy vehicles. And there go my MiGs. They take out that supply stash, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm taking these supplies. Mine! Yeah, but about the garrison buildings, the USA, they can actually have their transport copters go on top of the garrison buildings and bring down ropes to drop infantry on top of their garrison building to go inside and actually kill the people inside the building, and then it'll become your building. It's pretty cool. So the USA are better at transportation than GLA. What they can do that's pretty damn cool is that they have these tunnel networks, which is actually a defense building that has a turret on top of it. But what's really cool is that you put your infantry and even your vehicles inside one tunnel network and come out of a different tunnel network. It's like the Nidus canals in StarCraft 1, which is, it's pretty damn cool. So they work as a base defense, and they'll get your forces from one place to another really fast. So, of all the factions, China's probably the worst at mobility or transportation, while the GLA has the best mobility because they can use their tunnel network, and the USA have the best transportation because they can have their Chinooks actually drop off any units you want and they'll fly around with them and stuff. Doing pretty good. I got a pretty powerful force here. Got Oh no, they're attacking my hackers. One thing that the computer has always been known for, regardless of the Command and Conquer game, ever since the beginning until and to now, they always go after resources primarily. They go after your resources primarily, which is very smart. I mean, it's important to take down resource collecting ability so that your enemy is pretty much crippled. Here comes a big fight. By the way, I have, this battle was actually about 25 minutes or 26 minutes or so, so actually I shortened it by making the speed run twice as fast. So you're not gonna, so that's why you don't actually hear the sound of the actual game. You're hearing this back music I added instead, but I chose to add music that actually comes from this game because I think it's really cool. The music for China is awesome. And alright. So I got some Overlord tanks, which are the most powerful ground units in the game. Look at those big beasts. You can upgrade them by giving them a propaganda tower, which will heal all units that are surrounding it. Big's taking shit out. Or you can actually give it the Gatling cannon, so that it gains a Gatling cannon on top that shoots at ground and air to already go with its two huge cannons that it currently has. Or you can give it a bunker so you can put your infantry inside and have them shoot out of it while your tank is fighting, which is a pretty powerful weapon right there to actually to have your infantry shoot out of your tank. So yeah, I got these Gatling tanks waiting at my base in case an enemy attacks. Probably wasn't necessary anymore after taking out their ground force that they had in my base. Oh yeah, so those palaces, they can shoot out of them with their infantry. Rocket with their infantry. Make sure you continue to train hackers all the time. You'll get resources so fast if you have a bunch of hackers. Hackheads stealing money from the internet. I had a lot more, but there was that attack earlier that took out almost all of them. I also have nuke cannons with my Overlord tanks. My nuke cannons are a siege weapon that outrange defenses, and well, they launch mini nukes. Look at that explosion, that's from the nuke cannons. And then the remaining fire from that is the after effects of the explosion. Alright, I have defeated a brutal army fairly easily. Hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be more to come. I intend to play this game, or 0 Hour for that matter, online. And I may have videos for it pretty soon. I might actually decide to do that when I get a new computer and get my own collection of the Command and Conquer games instead of borrowing from my friend.